Over the next 6 weeks during this lockdown, you're probably going to be taking up some form of home workouts. Now, maybe you're going to be doing conditioning sessions, bodyweight exercises, or maybe you do have the luxuries of having weights, which of course is probably going to be more beneficial for building strength, muscular endurance and size. That being said, when I first started off training, I started off using bodyweight exercises as press-ups, squats, pull-ups, planks and so forth. This was the fundamentals for me, and it helped me build a massive amount of strength before I even lifted any weights. I'd done this for years throughout boxing. As far back as time, bodyweight exercises, if done correctly, can be unbelievable, and it will massively help you progress. I'm going to be slightly talking about some principles of progressive overload today. With these principles of progressive overload, you can see results such as when you're lifting weights, we'll use principles of progressive overload such as adding more reps, adding more weight, decreasing the rest time, and the list goes on. In this video today, I want to give you some information and some knowledge so that you can go into a 6-week lockdown and get the best results as possible. Now, let's start off with just bodyweight training. Maybe you don't have the luxuries of lifting weights at home. I'm going to cover 2 examples here so you have an understanding of what I'm talking about, but you can use this in different exercises, different workout routines, and still get the same results. So I'm going to cover press-ups and squats, the 2 most common exercises I've seen being used during the first lockdown. So if we start off with the press-up, for example, this will bring me to my first point of progressive overload. But when I was watching a lot of videos on, say, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, a lot of people would have been just, going through the motion, doing the press, and they wouldn't really be thinking too much about your form, and that's fair enough because maybe you're a beginner, maybe you're not getting the right coaching. But that's going to bring me to the first point of progressive overload, is improving your technique. Now, of course, as a beginner, you're probably not going to start off with the best technique or form, and that's fine. But as you progress, you want to improve your technique. So watching back on videos, looking at your form, how am I doing the push-up? How am I doing it correctly? Is my glutes engaged? Is my core engaged? Am I doing it with a nice smooth rhythm? Or am I just rushing? Am I just going through the motion? And that's going to help you progress, help you build muscle a lot more efficiently, help you get a lot stronger. So let's just cover very basic technique. When you're doing a press up, you want to make sure that you're not just engaging your triceps, you're also engaging your core, your back, your glutes, and your whole body is actually working. So you want to take a nice stance in this position, shoulder width. You want to make sure that everything is being locked down. A lot of people will arch their lower back, they'll have their bum high up in there. What you want to do with the press up is you want to make sure your core's engaged, squeezing down in your glutes nice and hard, making sure your back's nice and tight. As we go into the press, you want to make sure it's nice and controlled, getting into that push position, pushing up, squeezing nice and tight at the top, contracting the chest, make sure the triceps are being engaged as well. And just by doing that one press up alone, I can already feel my body engaging, my glutes, my core, my triceps, my shoulders, my chest. Another form we can use in progressive overload is time under tension. So when I'm going through the movement, maybe the first time I'm doing it really, really fast and it's getting me some results, but I'm starting to hit a wall. The next point we can bring up is time under tension. So maybe I'm hitting 20 reps the first time. Why do I not just slow it down? Why do I not just take everything nice and slow, controlled, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core, everything is nice and controlled, and go down into this motion and focusing on the contraction, and focusing on my core being tight. As I go into the push, everything's still strong. I hold, I'm pressing up nice and slow, pushing the ground, squeeze, 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 coming up, squeezing my core, squeezing my chest, nice and slow, and so forth. That can be used for any movement. If we're going for squats as well, we're going to be nice and slow, controlled, getting that depth, holding that time under tension, make sure everything is nice and tight. As we press up, we're going slow, slow, slow. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your quads at the top, nice and slow into the movement. And there's another principle of progressive overload that we can use to get results. Instead of just rushing everything, I'm giving you other options so you can still get good results. The next thing we're going to be talking about is maybe you're on your phone, you maybe done 20 reps in the press ups, 20 squats, and then you're on your phone, you're messing about. Well, the next thing we can do is shorten down the length of time you're resting during sets. So If you're not tracking, you're probably guessing. And if you want to get results, you have to have an idea of what you're doing during that session. If you're doing 20 press-ups, you take a 2-minute rest, you come back over, do another 20, you take a 3-minute rest. It's really hard to get results. So I do my press-ups, I do my squats, I do whatever other exercises I have in my program. And then I set a timer, 2 minutes. 2 minutes on my timer that I'm going to rest for. I'm fatigued, my body needs that rest. But then I want to progress, so I bring it down to 1 minute 45 seconds, 1 minute 30, 1 minute. Before you know it, you're taking very little rest. That's another form of progressive overload that you can use during the lockdown. Now these examples, they may not seem like much. If done correctly, you'll actually see a lot of really good results. You'll see you're progressing in a much easier fashion. You're going to find yourself using the muscles correctly. You find yourself becoming more knowledgeable, tracking, and just learning more about how to actually do the exercises, how to use progressive overload. I'm going to be covering many different topics in my private group page, covering all different types of training, all different methods, and just the knowledge that I have gained over the years. If you would like to join that, please message me. I'd be happy to hear from you.